Little look at what happened at the start this morning. Levi Leipheimer, resplendent in his Quiznos yellow jersey of leadership, signing in very early on alongside his teammate there, Phil Danon of Ireland. But then after about 40 kilometres, there was a very nasty crash, taking out one or two riders, and one of the riders who went down very hard there with the rider from Team Type 1 was Daniel Caligarin of Italy, and apparently he was airlifted to Denver Hospital with 2 broken hands. Another rider who went down in that crash as well was Ivan Basso, the leader of Team Liquigas Cannondale. But everybody, apart from Caligarin, he was the only one who didn't get back up. And just look at the damage that happened to his bike. His carbon fibre rims absolutely shattered. That's him down there on the road, and in fact he also is reported to have a fracture to the nose and cheekbone. It was a real tough and nasty crash, and another man involved, that's Caligarin there, who was looked after very quickly by the doctors, but also out on the open road. There's no chance, if you can get back up onto your bike and you can ride, then you get looked after by the race doctor. Once they got up to Cottonwood Pass and got up to the higher points of the pass, a 6-man breakaway started to form at the front end of the main field. But the main field admirably controlled here by Team Radio Shack in the first part as they climbed up to the highest point of the race today, 12,500 metre in altitude. That's just a snippet inside of 4,000 metres. Once they went over the top of the climb, it was the Colombians who were the fastest to the top, and the main field pretty much still intact. Once we got down off the top of Cottonwood and started to line ourselves up for the final climb of the day, Independence Pass, then there was a very good move coming off the front by Andre Steensen from Denmark and from Saxo Bank. He started to stretch out an interesting advantage. But more importantly, once we were on the slopes of the climb and it started to get that little bit grippy, Edward Ortiz of IPM team from Colombia managed to get himself a nice little attack. They let him suffer out there for a while with a 30-second advantage, but as we started to get closer to the summit of the climb, then there was a very strong attack came from the young American rider, 23 years of age. This, of course, from Montana, is TJ Van Garderen. It looked like he was going to steal a very good advantage over everybody else, but as he got closer to the summit, there was a very vicious attack behind and a response coming from the overall leader, Levi Leipheimer. Nobody was going to catch this man before the top because Rafael Infantino had built up a pretty good advantage of around about 20 to 30 seconds. But behind him, there was a very serious group starting to form because the top 3 riders in the overall standings, Levi Leipheimer, Christian van der Velde and TJ Van Garderen, joined together to form a very solid trio. They went over the top of the climb in 2nd, 3rd and 4th place, and very quickly on the descent they pulled back the advantage of the Colombian rider. But as they started to form this quartet, then the rest of the main field started to come back to them. And so they caught him quite smartly after 4 or 5 kilometres of the descent and pulled themselves back up to the Colombian rider. But there was a big chase on behind by Cadel Evans and Frank Schleck, who were also pretty high up in the overall standings. They took advantage of the descent to pull themselves back into this race. And then
have a chance.
Well, we can see we're looking back at the live pictures here as we try to stabilise. Now let's try and figure out just exactly what's going on here. This is a group of riders. That's George Hincapie there in the middle in the red and black.
Well, yes, and tacked on the back is Bruno Pires of Leopard Trek.
So we're looking here. We're finally getting a few stable pictures. It's been very difficult because of the climatic conditions here this afternoon in Colorado. It's pretty scary up at altitude, and this looks like we've got ourselves this. I can only have a guess because I've got no race radio. Race radio is down at the moment. This is TJ Van Garderen in this group in 3rd position. Number 31 on the front is Tommy Danielson. 26 is Bruno Pires from Team Leopard Trek. Now this could be a very serious move. Now I did see this group come all back together on the descent because Levi Leipheimer had been away at one time. Now this is obviously, when you look at the way these riders are going, this would have to be a group of chasers being led there by Peter Wiening and Robert Hessink. Van Garderen having another go here. This is obviously a very good move. TJ Van Garderen starts the day in 3rd place in the overall standings. Tommy Danielson, he's right up there in 9th place overall. But the man who could make the best operation here, in fact, could be Georgie Hincapie, because if this group stays clear, Hincapie packs a very good punch.
Well, TJ is forcing this pace, Paul, and it looks to me as though he's got himself away from the group here with Hincapie. The erstwhile leader of the Nissan King of the Mountains, Beltran Suarez, is in here. Oh, Suarez Beltran is in here. TJ, Christian van der Velde, but I think Levi has missed out.
Looks like he's very much missed out this afternoon, and it could have been on the descent, Phil, because once that rain started to come down there, we have no idea actually what happened out on the course. Levi Leipheimer is here. He doesn't have any teammates alongside him at all. Cadel Evans is in this group. Now, he's not going to chase because he's very happy with the situation. He's got George Hincapie in the front. Hincapie probably not looking to win the US Pro Cycling Challenge overall, but give him a chance to get in a breakaway like this, and he'll go for the win.
Well, he will. There is a time gap between the yellow jersey and the leaders here now at the moment, and Levi is trying to put things to rights. He hasn't got much time left before he flashes into the finishing line in Aspen here. He will lose his lead here if Christian van der Velde or TJ grab a small bonus. We haven't got the exact time gap at the moment between these two groups, but they're very close to the finish.
There's Tommy Danielson in that group there for Garmin-Cervelo, and that's a very good move by him. He's one of the riders from Garmin-Cervelo who said that he wanted to try and get himself the overall victory. Number 2, you've got to take your hat off to George Hincapie. Cadel Evans must be thinking it's Christmas here this afternoon because he can sit on this breakaway and he's got his fingers up and he's hoping that he's going to see a victory by George Hincapie. But this is a massive chase.
Well, TJ, I don't know if earlier when we spoke to TJ, before this race began, he'd earmarked this stage for victory. Had a very special reason because his girlfriend Jessica Phillips, also a racing cyclist, is living in Aspen, and she said, "You better win the stage." Well, he's in the breakaway, and the 6 of them clear now, and they've got rid of the yellow jersey. A complete turning of the tables here.
I think Christian van der Velde should be in that group behind with Levi Leipheimer, but if this breakaway stays clear as it is right now, well, TJ van Garderen will be looking to line himself up to be the new yellow jersey tonight.
Yes, number 31, Tom Danielson. We saw him in that breakaway, and this is a good move, a very strong move indeed by Garmin-Cervelo. Up underneath as we're heading towards the 1 kilometre mark under the Maxis 1 kilometre banner. We are only 1 kilometre out. They're off the mountains. The time gap is real now. And the crowd is cheering them on the last bends of the race. They've got to watch these corners.
No, they certainly do, especially those little white lines across the road there. There you can see Hincapie up into 4th position. TJ van Garderen is giving everything here. I think he might be putting in just a little bit too much pressure in here. Tommy Danielson's up into 3rd place. Hincapie's in the ideal position there, Phil, in 4th.
Well, I tell you what, Levi's missed out here, and he's probably going to lose his yellow jersey for sure now because of the time bonus at the finishing line. I think you're right. He may have got a little bit too excited here, TJ van Garderen. He's hit the front too soon, and he could well be leading out for the wrong men here. Oh, Tommy Danielson's looking pretty good. So too is George Hincapie, who can produce a very fast sprint.
No, he can. TJ van Garderen is really starting to gap all these other riders. Tommy Danielson's actually having a very difficult time to stay on the wheel. Still waiting to get around this final corner. You've got to be very careful, Phil. There's the group of Levi Leipheimer. He's losing a big chunk of time this afternoon.
But they're racing up to the line now, still gritting his teeth. George Hincapie coming on the right of the picture. The former US champion is going over the top of TJ van Garderen. This is a great finish by George. Now, who would have said Hincapie would win? TJ van Garderen is 2nd. Tom Danielson crosses the line in 3rd. I think Suarez was there in 4th place. Now the clock starts, Paul. It's Hincapie who gets 10 seconds, and that is a good result, in fact, for Leipheimer. But there's a 6-second bonus for TJ.
Well, there is. TJ van Garderen will be the new overall leader here this afternoon. But what about that, Phil? 38 years of age, George Hincapie, 16 participations in the Tour de France. You can't keep that man down, can you? Now look at the clock. The clock is ticking. We're in excess of 30 seconds now. They've
slipped up badly on the descent here in the rain because now Levi Leipheimer's gritting his teeth and getting best of the rest. But or is he? Because Cadel Evans is taking him on. Cadel is sweeping up from the back of that group, but they've lost 45 seconds today, and TJ van Garderen may not have won the stage for his girlfriend Jessica, but he's in the next yellow jersey.
He certainly is in the next yellow jersey. He's going to have to defend that tomorrow, Phil, in a very difficult uphill mountain time trial. I think that race was lost for Levi Leipheimer, Phil, on the descent. He made the move on Independence Pass, but then the rain started to come down, and the young bucks, guys like TJ van Garderen, took a few risks, but they couldn't outfox the old man George Hincapie. What a star.
That was a tremendous
big tall ascension. So the results of the stage, Hincapie, there's confirmation ahead of TJ van Garderen, who so much wanted to win this race here this afternoon. Tommy Danielson in 3rd place. He's trying to win this race overall, and he found himself in the right place at the right time to get into that move. Eduardo Beltran was right up there also. Cadel Evans showed that he wants to show in this race, and having just recently won the Tour de France, the first Australian ever to win the Tour de France, Cadel led the rest of the main field home in 7th place, losing 45 seconds. But with the nature of that individual time trial tomorrow, 45 seconds is absolutely nothing. He could completely turn it all around, but he's going to have to put some serious time between himself and TJ Van Garderen, who will be the new leader of this bike race overall tonight. Christian van der Velde in 12th place. He was in the group just a little bit further back. Staaf Clement, the time trial champion of Holland, he was also in the group, and he's at 16th place. Chris Baldwin, he was in 18th place for Bristol Pro Cycling. Frank Schleck was 19th, all given the same time as Cadel Evans in 7th place. And Rafael Infantino, the man who attacked on the slopes of Independence Pass, was there in 20th. Ivan Basso, he just dropped off towards the end, not losing a couple. TJ Van Garderen leads George Hincapie by 16 seconds. Tommy Danielson is in 3rd place at 22. Levi Leipheimer drops down into 4th place at 34 seconds, with Van der Velde and Cadel Evans at 45 seconds and 51 seconds for Cadel Evans. Robert Hessink at 1 minute and 4 seconds, and inside of the top 10, Rory Sutherland, United Healthcare, the Aussie rider from who races in the United States, in 10th at 1:09. But all of these time gaps and all of these positions could very easily change tomorrow with the individual time trial. Frank Schleck in 12th place, Oscar Sevilla in 13th place at 1 minute and 18 seconds, and Ivan Rovny, the teammate of Levi Leipheimer on Team Radio Shack from Russia, in 15th place at 1 minute and 26 seconds. Eduardo Beltran at 16th place, Staaf Clement in 17th. Peter Setner, the aggressive rider from Team Garmin Cervelo, is in 19th place, and he's looking for 1 minute and 42. And the attacker on Independence Pass, Rafael Infantino, in 20th place, 1 minute 44 back.